So the point is, what do? Do you then attempt to take over COSATU by giving it back to the workers, or do you set up an alternative? I mean, this has always been the big argument.
We have been mobilizing workers for around a call for a special national congress since 2013.
Yes.
For 2 years now, that leadership have refused to grant workers, even though the constitution of the federation is so categorical that wherever and whenever a third of the unions petition for a special congress, that congress should be held without any reasonable or
delay.
Without any delay. For 2 years, that have not happened. Instead, we have a situation now where the four things have happened. They have dismissed the biggest union with 340,000 workers out of the federation, something unprecedented, unheard of anywhere else in the world. And they're dismissing the union for the fact that it has political differences with the leadership and or with the federation. You can't do that and then pretend that you are working for unity. They have replaced that big federation with a shelf union, a union that doesn't exist. A union that has not had a congress called Limusa. It claims 1,670,000. You're replacing 340,000, a union that have now grown to 365. You're replacing it with 1,607 or 70 or so, unverified. No Congress, no elected leadership, no mandate.
The claim is now 7,000, of course.
They can claim 70,000 or 700,000. They can't produce it anyway. Thirdly, as if that is not enough, they are saying that there's a Congress coming in July. There's no notice for that Congress. There's no venue paid. There's no cent for that for the Congress, for that matter. It's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, we know that. And as it has not happened for the past 2 years since it was called.
So what do
Fourthly,
you do?
they've dismissed the General Secretary without any procedure or following any procedure, no hearing, no allegation, no neutral chairperson, just a CEC which have now constituted by one majority faction. Decides to vote against each other, and 33 of them vote to say a general secretary elected by thousands of workers must be dismissed. So when you're faced with that, we're asking a question as we speak, and that's part of the discussion tonight. We have been saying we're rallying everybody to reclaim the federation back into the hands of the workers. The more we do that, the more people are being purged. And this purging is not just about the COSATU General Secretary and the NUMSA. The purging is cutting across all or most of the unions. In SATU, people have been purged left, right, and center, in SIPAU, in SAMU, and so forth. What do we do? That's the fundamental question we're asking our members. What do we do? Do we still believe that we can go back and reclaim the federation in a special national congress? What about the fact that in that special national congress, this faction is saying there will be no NUMSA, there will be no general secretary.
That's contrary to the constitution, though.
Contrary to the provisions of the constitution, and that if we want to appeal, we can appeal to the normal congress, which we don't know when it will be held, either in June, July, September, October, December. It depends on who they're speaking to, and they don't know that themselves. What do we then do? Do we think that under the circumstances, we can still go back and reclaim the federation? Or the fundamental question, which is what makes them to be scared, has the time not arrived that we must say we have reached the end of the road? We've tried our level best to get the federation back into the hands, but we are simply not succeeding. Whilst this is unfolding, what we know is happening is that the crisis of unemployment has worsened. From 1994, it is now sitting at catastrophic levels, bigger than any other time in the entire history of this country. 35%, or almost 4 out of every 10 of the workers are unemployed.
That's the official statistic.
That's official statistics. And if you go and put it into the category, because we usually say unemployment, like all other crises in South Africa, discriminate people in the following way. It depends on your race. And amongst Africans, that unemployment rate goes to 40–50%, in some townships 60–70–80%, and according to the official statistics again. Secondly, it discriminates people on the basis of their age. So 60% of South Africa's young people are unemployed. We're number 4 in the whole world when it comes to youth unemployment. We know that 35% minimum of the workers are employed as casual temporals, no benefits, no provident fund, working on holidays for nothing, and all of that. We know that we have become the most unequal society in the world. We're now number 1. We're holding the position number 1. I'm just telling you, the price of us keeping ourselves so preoccupied with winning the boardroom fights, what is happening in the real economy. Do we want to continue into the boardroom, special CC, or writing a petition, or responding to Gobodo, or this and that, whilst our home is burning? I think that we can't afford that, and that's why we, whilst workers are having that discussion, we are at the same time saying, do not mourn, mobilize. So yes to a discussion, but mobilize around the issues. Let's go and pick and pay and say you shall pay your workers a decent work. They need more maternity and paternity benefit leaves. They want more of the provident fund to improve, and so forth and so forth.
But mobilize as who? You see, this is the whole point, because what you appear to be arguing for a separate federation.
We're mobilizing with the 9 unions, and I can tell you on the ground, there is no such divisions. Workers are not divided, and we're refusing to divide workers on the basis of which union have taken what position at the national level. We're mobilizing workers across all the unions. Eskom is switching off electricity every day, and every time it does so, workers get sent home, in particular by the small, medium, macro enterprises who do not have large generators. And when that happens, they work on short term. When that happens, they get half of the meager wages that they usually get at the end of their month or end of their fortnight. Workers across all the divisions want Eskom to sort out this problem and want the crisis of Eskom not to be shifted to the shoulders of the workers.
But I understand
those are the issues that we must be mobilizing around.